Good evening, everyone. Sorry for the lateness of the video getting out, but yeah, I put a tweet out earlier. It was a really nice day, and I just couldn't be bothered. So a few of it. I'm a bit of a late bird, so I'm still up. Everyone's went to bed, and I thought good opportunity. Prepped the video. All I need to do is go and just record it. So let's just go for it. Let's just get stuck in. But I've not really been in the loop too much this week. But I did a great video on Tuesday or Wednesday, I forget which day it was, with Football Index Manager. If you've not watched that yet, you're missing out big time. There's a video on my side of the channel. You'll find that easy enough through this video just by clicking on me, and it's called Shopping List, dead easy to find. And then once you're finished watching that, in the description there's a link to FI Managers Part 2 of that, and both episodes are really good watches. My audio in both of them is pretty awful. First time I used Skype to try and record with something, and it was pretty poor. So if you can bear through with that, otherwise it's a really good watch, and stay tuned for more to follow from that kind of line of thing as well. Okay, and we had a surprise episode this morning of the Rolling Hundreds. We managed to get that moving on as well, which was cool. But the show that must go on is the People's Portfolio. Okay, so we've got some great picks to go through today, guys. My tone will be a little bit different right now, quite simply, just because it's midnight. But so some of these prices, guys, I did these screenshots and prepped the video a few hours ago. So some of them might be out by a pence or two. We'll see how it is as we go. But the first person we've got to chat about is Leandro Balerde. Okay, now this is a name that I think I seen come up on index like chats on Twitter or whatever, maybe about 3 months ago or something like 2 months ago. Not that long ago. If you've not heard of him before, he's a promising centre back from Argentina, and as we know about Argentina, they've not really ever had a defence worth mentioning. When I think back to when I was young, they had defences that on paper looked okay. Zanetti at right back, and then like Sorin at left back, and like Walter Samuel, and guys like that. And Mascherano played centre half for a little while, but they've never ever really put together a world class defence for a World Cup, and I think that's what's kind of hampered them in this. And I say generation quite open, like my lifetime. They've not really had that concrete foundation for all the amazing attacking players that they've always got. But this is the next guy to carry the mantle of, could he be the future for Argentina defence? And he signed for Dortmund from Boca in January. And how old is he? He's 99, so he's 20. So big club to start your career with in Argentina, of course, and then a big transfer to Europe. He moved over in January. He's not really. I've not got too many screenshots of this guy because he's not played any senior football, from what I understand from articles and stuff like that. Is this him as well? Yeah. Um, that he's been training with the first team. I think he had an injury, perhaps, or something like that. But as you can see there in his, when you look at the news on FootMob for him, that page there, his number definitely starts with a 1 right now. I know this is going to sound probably a bit stupid, right? But I remember when they signed Jadon Sancho and they gave him the number 7. I thought that is like, that's a statement. You don't sign like an under 21s player from Man City and give them the number 7 unless number 1 you think they're going to be amazing and number 2 you're going to play them. Number 7's a big shirt, in any team. So with that being said, with this guy coming over for 16 million euros and getting what looks like the number 18 shirt, maybe the number 19, he's not going to be one of these Borussia Dortmund 2 players that you never plays in. Obviously he's played Regional West. It doesn't tell you how many times, but he scored a goal. It can tell you that certainly. But the guy's not done very much yet. So this is a guy who, if you're looking ahead for next season, you're thinking who could really pop out and do well for Dortmund, or could be a big PB defender in German football next year. This guy has got a few places, to win. Dortmund's defence now is full of like defensive wonder kids, as most people would probably call them. Like highly tipped youngsters. Zagadou, Diallo. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but they've got more than 2 or 3 anyway, to say the least. Just signed Schultz at left back, at right back. I think they're getting Hakimi back from Real Madrid. So really strong defence. You'll have a lot of work to do to get in there, but all it takes for a central defender is a suspension or an injury to another player, and there you go. So 57 pence represents some good value for the team he plays for, the potential you would imagine he has, given the background, like we've discussed. At 57 pence, you'll be there's definitely worse people you could buy at that price, and probably even a tad more expensive. So Leandro Balerde, remember the name for the season ahead. The next guy is very similar. He is also a young centre back in one of the top German teams, and his name is Lars Lucas Mai. Okay, now we did the video about the Lucas Hernandez transfer. I'll dig it out in I'll get into the description below. I'll try and do that as I'm uploading it, because I would like that to be in here. But where we chat about Bayern's defence for next year and what it might look like. And this guy, the thing that Bayern are doing now, because it feels like Bayern have been waiting for a long period of time, or not a long, but for the last like 2 or 3 seasons, it feels like they've been waiting for Robin and Ribéry to do what they've both done this summer and say, right, that's us, we've had enough, and move on. And the thing that they've been saying, Rummenigge and all these guys, is they want to have the best young players in Europe playing at Bayern Munich, and that's why they've went out and bought. And fair enough, he's had a bit of a wonky 2 years, right? But guys like Renato Sanchez, Serge Gnabry, Alphonso Davies, even Leon Goretzka is still a young guy, you know what I mean? And then Lucas Hernandez, Pavard. They've also got Kimmich in the team, so young, exciting, next generation is what Bayern are going for right now. And when Bayern have done this is probably like the third time they've done it, maybe the second time in my kind of football memory. But whenever they do this, young German players come to the fore, guys like, you can go back through their history, the German players have produced from their own academy, guys like Schweinsteiger, even if you go back as far as like Effenberg and Mehmet Scholl and these guys, but you then get Schweinsteiger, you've got guys like Thomas Müller, of course, and Toni Kroos. Pretty sure Hummels was Dortmund Academy. Then he went to Dortmund, then went back to Bayern, and now he's went back to Dortmund. Yeah, so this guy could be the next one off the conveyor belt, as they say. He's been training around the first team a couple of times. The person who nominated him for the People's Portfolio this week, I forget who it was. I apologise, but I did make a comment that I do know of this guy, and the reason I do know of him, you might laugh at this, but in this year's Ultimate Team, he's like the most expensive bronze defender in the game. He's 10 grand because of all the squad builder stuffs that you need for Bayern, and just the price of, anyway. So I had an idea that he existed, this man, and yeah. So he played twice in the league last year, 2 starts, solid stats. For the limited time that he had, 180 minutes, 2 full 90 minutes. But if it's only 2 games, the league's probably been wrapped up. Actually, the league didn't get wrapped up. They went right to the last day. But it'd have been against, I would imagine, the gimme teams. But he's getting bled in. He's getting tried by Kovac last year, and again, injury suspensions that could easily continue. The next one we've got is Yuri Tielemans. Right now, Tielemans is in a really. He's close to being in a prominent, a prime position for purchase, because he's nosedived down. He's not went to Man United. He's signed for Leicester, which was always going to be strongly on the cards, to be honest with you, unless something really special came their way. In terms of Monaco for him, and Tielemans' package and his agent and all that kind of stuff, But Leicester are going to be a real. I think they're everyone's dark horse for this year. People say, oh, Leicester, Everton, West Ham, but really it's Leicester who they've got such. You could look at their 1 to 15 probably in their squad and think they could all be of use to any top 6 club. Really, they're all tidy players, they're all well equipped, and they've got a lot going on this year. And a successful season for them. Excuse me. That's the time catching up with me. But a successful season for them getting to. This is the thing, to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't have European football this year. So they've only got the league to focus on. Rodgers might want to win a cup with them, right? Because he's been winning a lot of cups in Scotland, and it's something he is missing from his career in England is a trophy. So I'd imagine they'll go for a cup this year and a European spot. I think he's confident enough that the players he's got, and he'll probably add, especially with having a guy like this, Tielemans, in the middle of the pitch. Look at his stats. This is 20 games in the Premier League, right? When he's, is it? Did I do Premier League? And then, this is his 20 games in France, right? So 20 games in the Ligue 1. And when he left Monaco, they were like second bottom or something like that. They were really bad. and his stats are still amazing. You know, like he had such a good season at Monaco, even though the rest of the team was so poor. It was really the only shining light for them at that stage of the year. And then he's went on loan to Leicester. 13 games in the Premier League, 3 goals, 4 assists. What more do you want from a box-to-box midfielder? Goals inside the box 2, 1 outside the box, left foot, right foot header. Jesus, I didn't notice that when I took the picture. You know, what more do you want for a midfielder? Key passes 16 for 13 games in the Premier League. You've just come in. Accurate passing rate 85%. The shots on target 50%, and bear in mind how many of them are outside the box. Dribbles, wins the ball, and can get by a man, tackling, clearances, interceptions, all good stuff. And his first season in France wasn't bad, certainly, but it certainly wasn't amazing. Before he moved from Anderlecht, where he was very successful, of course. But the guy is brilliant, and then we look at his whoscored.com. So the top little half of the screenshot there is just some more of the numbers from him at Monaco this season, and then you see his Leicester stats in this format. If this is more palatable for you, shots per game and tackles per game, they're really solid numbers for a midfielder. He's got PB potential in them, we know that. He's been right up and amongst it since being at Leicester. And the guy's at 175, he might be a wee bit more or less than that now, but he's very close to prime position. He's not going to see 140 down there. I don't see that coming back. But it's where he's going to land between here and there, and how long it will take him to get there. But I do think he is somebody for the watching. As soon as football kicks off and this guy does something again, it could be 2 games into the season, could be first game of the season, it could be the 10th game. But as soon as he does something, he's going to pop, and he's going to really rival some other players price wise on the index who have good positions and have good value for money. Next guy you've probably seen is Christian Benteke right now. I was really torn when I looked at this. I thought Benteke, he's been poor. But when you look into it, he did have a lot of injuries last year, didn't play a lot of football. His stats are... Excuse me again. Oh. Jesus, apologies guys, apologies. His stats are almost forgivable just because of how little he played. He's saying he's never felt better. He's been keeping himself well in pre-season. He wants to be a big player for Hodgson. And then there's also a link in one of these articles to Villa and China. Okay, which is the one thing you never want to hear a Premier League player linked to is China, because more often than not they go, and if you're holding this guy and he goes to China, he's probably not going to do an Axel Witsel. He's probably not going to come back. He's probably going to be Hulk, Oscar, Teixeira, Guarin, Mascherano, anyone you want to think of. They go, they don't come back. So I'm really torn on him. At 35 pence, do you know what? See, if you hold him for 30 days and he'd managed to get you 2 goals, you would be, you'd be in a great position for a very small investment, to make that work. But that's if he stays and stays fit and actually puts the ball in the net. But 35 pence, if you went to China, you're screwed. As simple as that. Goes to Villa, you could. I can see him doubling in price if Villa signed him tomorrow. To be quite honest with you, says at Palace, it's going to be on performances, but 35 pence for a potential goal scoring threat in the Premier League for what we would all consider quite a strong Premier League team, who would expect to, if Palace would probably take 12th right now, I would imagine, is a worst case, So, hey ho, Benteke. And then Godfrey Donsap, name I'm familiar with, not in any great detail, but I recognise that combination of letters to make a football player's name, if that makes sense. Okay. His 1 month graph, this is a really interesting fact about this guy, his 1 month graph is the exact same as his 3 month graph. Okay. So there's nothing else to show you. The guy's been very slow, very stable, recent big pop. What's the big pop been about? I'll show you in a second. Injured a lot last year, didn't play much, didn't do very much. Season beforehand, played 1,700 minutes, going on 1,800, and it's a pretty decent centre mid, tackle success rate high, accurate passing high, clearances and interceptions very high for Bologna, who are a lower mid-table Serie A team, some nice stats, He has been linked with Wolfsburg, which is the pop that he's had recently, and also Fenerbahce and Kaikur Rizenspor. I know they're normally as Rizespor. So two Turkish teams and a Bundesliga team. If he went to Wolfsburg, I think he would be a nice. I think he would be good to buy right now if he went to Wolfsburg. If he goes to Turkey, look at Ozil's graph since he's been linked with Fenerbahce. And if he says Bologna, it's hard to say. It depends on the Bologna season if they do an Atalanta, which is a very, or even a Sampdoria. Sampdoria had a good year last year from memory. But they would need to go on and do something. He's not going to. They're not in Europe. He would need to do something special if he's not going to transfer to something like a Wolfsburg. The next player we have is Yannick Vestergaard, who you will be familiar with, I'm sure. Again, 3-month graph, very slow, very stable, very strong. Any of the S's. Stats. Now, this is background, right? This guy is a seasoned, solid Bundesliga centre half. Since 2013. Over 20 games a season for Bremen, I want to say. I forget off the top of my head, just one of the W's, one of the green W's. I'm going to say Bremen. Very solid stats. Averages a goal every 10 games, really, for most of his senior career, which for a centre half in a top European division is passable. It's credible, to say the least. First season in the Premier League. First full season at least anyway, 23 games, a lot of minutes, a lot of interceptions. He's got an error, a lot of clearances, and then his percentages are all well enough considering Southampton were a bit of a, excuse the language, they were a bit of a shit show this year until that Hasenhüttl came in. And we've all got a bit of a, I don't know about all, but if you see Match of the Day and Southampton blow somebody away and beat them 3 or 4-0, you're probably not disappointed, and you're probably not upset unless it's your team that done it too. I think everyone likes to see Southampton score nice goals and produce players because they've been doing it for so long, and we all know the last season wasn't great for them, Hasenhüttl, but could be making a turnaround with that team. We did say recently that we also did the whole back in the team thing and we bought a bunch of Leipzig players, and I was going to buy, I was looking at a few Premier League teams and I was very close to pulling the trigger on some Southampton players, and then the Lamina thing happened. And I have not had money to deposit in any case in this time, so I've not actually had money to deploy. I've not missed out on anything really, but it just means prices have maybe been more inflated on some Southampton players, Lamina in particular. But I think Southampton could be the team no one's talking about. It happens every year. A team that no one is everyone's got, oh yeah, like remember last year, oh, Liverpool are my dark horses to win the league. Every pundit said that, and like, oh, Liverpool are my dark, as if that's like some sort of amazing angle in football they've got to come up with that, that there's always a team that no one talks about that after 5 games everyone's like, whoa, that team, remember when Huddersfield first came up? I think their first 6 games they were amazing and everyone was like, what the heck is going on here? I also found it to be quite mince, but but the point, sorry, Huddersfield. But the point is like there's always that room for a team who's not had any column inches to really just come. They're getting quietly stuck through their pre-season, doing some business, picking up some players, maybe selling some on, with a proven to be a decent enough coach and a decent enough setup, and his results when he came in were decent as well. A guy like this at the centre of your defence could become very valuable, and at the moment I think he's at 27 pence, so that could become a bargain very easily. He is 4 years younger than me, so that means he's 27. He's probably got one more transfer in him if he leaves Southampton within the next 2 windows, January and the summer. He's probably got one more step up in him if he does well at Southampton to warrant that step up. But so it depends on what angle you take for your portfolio. Is it future transfers? Is it PB? Is it just a capital appreciation because they will get better and more people will buy them for a variety of reasons, whatever. This guy, 27 pence, is sitting quite pretty, depending on Southampton do. Now, what do we think about this one? 2 seconds. Benjamin Mendy. Last season, 10 games, 5 assists. Look at those numbers. Absolutely beautiful for a fullback. Season before that, 7 games, 4 starts, 1 assist. Numbers are good for the minutes he's played, I suppose. What do we think? They've got Zinchenko, they've just signed Angelino, and they've also got a few other players that can play left back, Laporte, Delph, and there's talk about Aki as well. Is this the writing on the wall? Is Mendy, is he being sold? Is he staying? Is he falling out with Pep? Is Pep falling out with him? Are they just so unsure about his fitness that they need to have two like backups to him as well? Which isn't really that fair. Which is not really that fair on Zinchenko, by the way, because he's been something else, man. See, for a number 10, like he's supposed to be, he's reported to be an attacking midfielder. You know, hat off to that boy, man. He is a classic professional, you know. But Mendy, I really don't know what to think about him. You know, there's no point in me telling you anything about him per se, because you'll know everything I know about him. I don't know why there's a Wan-Bissaka picture there. I'm sure it's a news article talking about fullbacks or something. But I really don't know what to think. If he plays that price to now, if he plays the first if he plays the first 2 games of the season, that price will go away very, very, very quickly. You know, there's been times where Mendy was playing, he was definitely in the top 5 most expensive defenders on the platform when he's playing. Maybe top 3, don't remember, but he's right up there, you know, so it's a big question mark. It's a real watch this space one, to be honest with you. Could be deadly, could be so good, or could just shoot yourself in the foot. Steve Cook, that's his 3-month graph. Not very exciting. 22 pence a share, very cheap. He's 3 years younger than me, so that means he is 28. Stats, really solid for Bournemouth. He's been playing with them ever since they came up from the Championship. Solid guy at the back. He's not moving. He's got good PB stats, I'm told by the guy who put the comment in below. And at 22 pence, if you held him for the full season and he won best defender on treble match day once, it might be worth it. Hard to say. Marco Varnier. Okay, now Varnier is a name I did not know. I recognise the combination of letters to make a football player's name, but he's been on a really steady and I would say attractive growth over the last 3 months. It says here's an Atalanta player, centre half. I'm thinking, okay, let's have a wee look. Cruciate ligament injury, okay. And he's not played for Atalanta. He's not played football since the end of the 2017-2018 season. Hard to say. Now, I went and read some articles, and this guy was a bit of a rock for the team he played for before, Cittadella in Serie B. Well highly thought of, was bought by Atalanta to play, got this injury, and then this other guy, Gianluca Mancini, who you've probably read has been linked with a few teams, he got the chance to play it and he really kicked on and really made it his own, grasped the opportunity with both hands. So this guy needs to recover from injury, number 1, and number 2, he's then going to be fighting for a place in a Champions League team, you know. So at 43 pence, you again, a cruciate ligament could, you know, it could end somebody. Yeah, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. That could end somebody. Something to watch, guys. Okay. But by all accounts, he's well recognised. He's a very promising Italian centre half. And as I say, I've been at a Champions League club. If he's fit and playing, or if he's fit and fighting for a place, and then you get a suspension or something goes his way, he gets in the team, makes the place his own. Mancini maybe is sold in the summer. That's not impossible. People are after him. Then, you know, again, and if he comes back from injury and he's the same player or better, result, you know. And that is the People's Portfolio's choices for this week, guys. Okay, now we've made a decision prior to recording, because I had so long between organising everything and recording, and we're going to go for Vestergaard. Okay, now the reason we're going to go for Vestergaard is quite simply because of that whole I'm not going to buy max this time. I'm just going to buy 100, because that's what I planned on doing. To have 100 of this guy for £27, with what I just said about Southampton, I do believe that has a very worthwhile chance of transpiring, and 100 shares for a centre half that could be in the position in a team like that, I think is not a bad bet, which is what this is. So I'm happy to go with Vestergaard on this occasion. Okay, guys, boom. There we go. Oh, did you see that? The people are moving the market. The people are moving the market. And then we've got £1.22. Where will we put that? £1.22. Oh, we could have bought... Yeah, we'll just leave it hanging about. Spend it on somebody at some point. This has been the People's Portfolio, guys. Okay, now, when I was in the middle of putting this together, and then when I was getting set up to record and stuff like that, this will be the last episode of the People's Portfolio in its current kind of season, if you like. We're going to shelf this one for, I want to say 2 weeks, okay, and just give the market a bit of a chance to move. We're going to be coming into a really hot period, okay. We're in mid-July now, so between now and the end of August, a lot of different things are going to happen, football-wise and whatever. And quite simply, guys, I'm not going to be doing any more deposits into the People's Portfolio for the next fortnight or so. Yeah, I've been thinking about it. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to take a wee fortnight out of it, okay? But the comments that you leave in this video over the next 2 weeks. So today is the 13th. So it will be Friday the 12th. 7 is 19, and then 7, 26. Let's just do one. Let's miss. Yeah, 2 weeks. Okay, so that'll be the end of July. Okay, so the 26th of July will be the last episode. With the next, I beg your pardon, the next episode of the People's Portfolio. We're just going to miss 1 week, the way the dates work out and everything. Cool, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's been a really somber and a really long version of the People's Portfolio this week, okay? If you've stayed with me the whole way through it, thanks very much. I do appreciate it, especially this time of night if you're watching it not long after it being uploaded. Hat off to you. I love you. Thanks for coming by. If you're new around here, like, share, subscribe, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. It means so much to me. I get amazing comments from all you guys all the time, and honestly, you've got no idea. It feels amazing, and I'm very grateful for it all. And yeah, stay out of trouble. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.